Can you tell me a story of a leader who you've worked with who's changed their mind about emotional intelligence?
I absolutely can. Yeah. I'm currently coaching a leader right now who did change his perspective on emotional intelligence. So to give you some context, the leader that I'm working with is a neurodiverse leader. He has ADHD. Now, a little bit of context around ADHD so you can understand how important this is. So ADHD in the brain is really about not having natural or regulated dopamine. Okay. So we talked earlier about how important it is to be able to regulate your emotions and understand when you're stressed and bored. So the neurotypical brain regulates neurochemicals differently than the neurodiverse brain. And every brain is different. Every brain is unique. No two brains are alike, okay? Even in the neurodiverse brain, okay? So we have these wide swaths of information, but really no two brains are alike. So this leader really, really struggles with social awareness, all right? And so much so that he gamifies everything. So he makes everything a game, which sounds fun, right? All right. So he's like, okay, we're going to meet that goal. We're going to gamify it. We're going to put a game together and,
it can be one of the most effective strategies to promote engagement at work.
It can. It can also put people in an away state if they don't value competition.
Yeah.
And some things shouldn't be gamified. So he didn't recognize that he was putting people in a threat state because people felt threatened because they couldn't reach the goal or answer the question or play the game or didn't want to play the game. And so people started to leave his organization just at its height when it was starting to grow and boom. And he couldn't understand. He's like, our business is growing. Short-term reward. We're making more money. We have more clients than ever. And key people in his organization were leaving. So he's coaching with me, and we set some outcomes to over-communicate, to bring his team alongside him, to improve the health and wellness of his team, to improve his emotional intelligence around the areas of self-awareness so that he would not lose key players and sustain growth of his business.
That's great. What do people need to know about when others get introduced to the equation?
Well, a couple of things that you should know as a leader when you're thinking about social awareness, right? That's the third quadrant that we're kind of talking about here. Is one, I really can't look at you and decide or know what you're feeling. I can't. But I can't really tell if you're hot or if you're cold or if you're sad or if you're tired by looking at you. So what I need to do as a skilled leader is to ask you questions. I need to check in with you. I need to pause and look and build the skill set to have responsibility to ask you. And it can't be as simple maybe as, how are you doing today? I mean, it could be that simple, though I would guess that you might get the good or fine, right? It might be more specific around, what's your stress level on this project, right? Or what's working for you? Also, just understanding people in general. What are your team members' styles? Are they quiet? Are they talkative? Are they detailed? So that's where a tool like understanding strengths, right? Using a strengths finder or even understanding your team's emotional intelligence skills can really help you as a leader.
Yeah. I am thinking about different leaders and different bosses that I've had or peers that I've had, and someone's coming to mind who she never was able to ask questions. She felt it was intrusive. She felt it was asking for too much from her team. What would you have said to her?
Yeah. I would have advised her, maybe even demonstrated questioning, but I would have advised her to learn how to have a coaching style, a Socratic questioning style. So there are many different types of leadership styles. And people argue that some leadership styles are better than other. And I'll just name a couple of leadership styles. There's a democratic leadership style where you're building consensus by bringing people together. There's a command leadership style, which is making a decision and moving, and sometimes needed. Okay. There's an affiliate leadership style, which is like maybe walking alongside you. So there's all these different leadership styles, and there's a coaching leadership style. So leaders need to understand their own leadership style, but they also need to learn other types of leadership styles so that they can switch leadership, or they can switch their style just enough that they can handle a situation. So what I would have maybe told your leader at the time is to take a coaching class, to get a coach, to learn that coaching is understanding how you can use the art of questioning to bring your team member along. Because what coaching does is it gives the individual the autonomy to answer questions and help them really talk about their emotions.
Yeah. It's an invitation.
It's an invitation. Yes.
You've talked about these leadership styles, this command style leadership, coaching style leadership, and these are learnable.
Yes, very learnable. Very learnable, all of them. Yes.
So how can leaders develop their social awareness?
Okay. So I have another model for you. I love all these models. It makes it easy to read and research and how we learn, right? Okay. So this model is from Dr. David Rock, and he, again, is the founder of the Neuroleadership Institute, okay? And this model is called SCARF. Right? SCARF, all right? It's fall here. It's going to be winter, but it's SCARF. Okay, so remember earlier I mentioned how important it is to have emotional regulation in yourself and others so that you're in a toward reward state?
Yes.
Okay, so SCARF can either put you in a toward reward state or an away state. All right, so what is SCARF? So if I'm a leader, I want my team members and my peers to have a little bit of status. Okay, like, hey, you did a good job today. Or noticing their work, like a little bit of status. We're not talking about like giving them a Maserati status, although that would be nice. We're really talking about just status. Okay. We want our people to have C for certainty. So it's very important for people to know what they're doing and why they're doing it, right? It creates safety. All right. So a little bit of status, a little bit of certainty. Actually, I would say a lot of status and a lot of certainty, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The A is autonomy. What do you think about when you think about autonomy?
Being able to make decisions for myself, to manage my time, my day, to achieve the goals that are out in front of me.
Exactly, and not get your hand slapped, right?
Yep.
Yes, okay. So people need autonomy. It puts us in a toward reward state, all right? All right, so we got status, certainty, autonomy. The next one, the R, is relatedness. I want to get along with you. I want to relate to you. I want to hear your stories. I want you to hear mine. I want to be in this together. I want to belong to something. I want to belong to a community. So leaders can try to create relatedness, common goals.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Connections between goals.
Connections between goals. Yes, relatedness. Very important. Okay. And that's tricky when you have a workforce that is not in the same building. You have to be very intentional as a leader to create relatedness.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the final one is F for fairness. Equity. We want equity as humans. Since the dawn of time, we've wanted equity, right? We want equality.
And we've also seen that there are better results when equity and equality are part of the equation.
That's correct. Yeah. What comes to mind when you think about fairness as a leader?
It's two things come to mind for me: the access to resources, the access to information for teams to be able to exercise autonomy, decision making, and produce good results. And the other thing that comes to mind about fairness is the judgment that's placed on performance and having that be equally weighted across different teams that might have different types of outputs that they produce.
Yes, brilliant. Right. So do you think you would use SCARF as a leader?
SCARF sounds like something that if I was writing notes, I'd be writing down SCARF right now.
Yes, SCARF. It's a great tool. If you're interested, it's in David Rock's book called Your Brain at Work.